Hey guys, today we're gonna be reacting to 1C Entertainment. So let's get on with it. Let's do it.
This happened a little over a decade ago when I was an undergrad. I worked as a pharmacy technician my sophomore through senior years. At a pharmacy, of course, you have regulars. One regular was Joe, a mid-30s man with long straggly hair and an affinity for bizarre outfits. He was very sweet, but also very ill, mentally and physically. He was on a cocktail of antipsychotics, anti-anxiety, anti-depression, etc. Also, he was on medicine for AIDS. Normally, Joe would come in with his mother, who took care of him. However, his mother was older and had her own health problems. Towards the end of my junior year, Joe started coming in by himself, so he would walk from his home or take a taxi. Joe told me frequently that I looked like a young Michelle Pfeiffer, that I should be in LA, yada yada. Aside from the curly blonde hair, I never really saw the resemblance, but okay. I was
Wow.
polite, told him thanks, and asked him how his mother
Okay, I don't
was.
even know what that
General
really
small
is,
talk while
but
I rang up his scripts. He never gave me the beware vibe. My senior year, Joe's mother came in without him and told us that Joe wasn't doing well. He was refusing to take his antipsychotics, and she was getting too old to defend herself if Joe went into a rage. She was having him placed in a home for patients like Joe. I didn't know until that day that Joe was technically under guardianship. The courts and his doctors deemed him too ill to make important financial and medical decisions. Joe's mother gave us the medical release so that Joe's new home could send their staff to pick up his medicine. We didn't see Joe for
okay.
about 4 months. It was the end of my senior year, a Friday night. Just me and the pharmacist were working because Friday nights are slow. I was reading a magazine when I heard, "Hey, Michelle." I'm not Michelle, so I didn't look up. Then angry, "Michelle," and a slap on the counter in front of me made me look up. It was Joe. He was bleeding profusely and left a bloody handprint on the counter. I was shocked, and all I could do was slowly back away to put distance between myself and the very bloody Joe. The pharmacist came rushing over to ask Joe what he was doing here. His home had picked up his meds on Tuesday.
Yeah.
I wanted to see Michelle. I miss her. Then he started opening the waist-high door to get behind the pharmacy counter. The pharmacist called the store manager and told the manager to call 911 while she called Joe's mother. "Michelle, come here. Give me a hug." "No, I don't think that would be appropriate,
Okay.
Joe." "Give me a hug." Then he just started screaming this over and over and attempting to climb over the counter. The pharmacist told me to go into the back storage room and lock the door. This just pissed Joe off. He started picking up items, which covered them in blood, and threw them at us. It was a chaotic mess. A patron was about to attempt to subdue Joe, but both the pharmacist and I both shouted not to touch him, due to him being covered in blood and positive for HIV. We told the small crowd that had formed to leave for their safety as Joe was flinging items and getting blood everywhere. Eventually, the police and EMTs arrived. The store manager must have explained the blood and HIV issue because they had on protective gear, long gloves, face masks, etc., and were able to forcibly sedate Joe. The store had to be shut down, and a special cleaning crew had to come in and clean the entire store. Joe's mother came to apologize after the store reopened. Joe had developed an obsession for me and grew angrier and angrier each month.
Okay, I'm gonna have to blur that later, so...
He attacked one of their home residents the night of the incident.
Oh, no.
Grounded him freaking out until his mother called frantically. Suing the home for negligence, and she had moved Joe to a more secure mental health facility.
Wow. Okay. Another one.
1. The man I saw in my apartment. It was around the time that our area was plagued by lots of sexual assault cases. And there was advice for us, which used to be that if someone followed you, look straight at his eyes and talk. Then one day, I was coming back home after hanging out with my friend. I saw a middle-aged man walking behind me, and suddenly I felt like he was following me. And he literally came to my apartment elevator. So I turned around intentionally and greeted him, smiling. Hello. He pretended not to hear me at first, so I spoke to him, making eye contact with him more and more. I think I've never seen you in this apartment before. Did you move here? He, this time, looked at me with his eyes wide open, and then ran away from the spot, and I rushed towards the security office to report what I had experienced just before. And the moment when I saw the CCTV there, I had no choice but to just freeze in there. I was talking to myself, staring into the air.
Wow.
2. The note in the trash can. It was during class time. I was exchanging a little note with one of my friends, writing just a boring story, you know. And after class, I tore up the paper and threw it into the trash can. On my way home after school, I realized that I had left some of my stuff in my locker, so I headed back to the classroom. But I felt something strange when I arrived in front of the class. So before I opened the front door, I slowly looked at people through the window next to the door, and when I looked inside, there was another of my classmates there. And he was picking up my torn note that I had exchanged with my friend in the trash, assorting it as if it were like a puzzle.
Okay, that's way too creepy.
3. How do you know?
Okay, so that's gonna be it for the reacting to scary animations, and see you guys on the next one. Bye.
No. 1.
Okay. Yeah, so make sure to subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys on the next one.